Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. And here's Sophie for you.
Hi everyone, I hope you can hear me. I unfortunately can't see anything. I can't see Anusha, but I'm so grateful to be here with Anusha and that she is reading Kumari's Adventure with Her Moon Cycle. I have a copy here with me too. My name is Sophie. I am the author and the curator of this book, which was published last year in June 2022. Anusha, do you want to say anything else or shall I continue?
Oh, you can continue.
Okay, great. So let me just tell you a little bit about the story before Anusha reads it to you, which I'm so excited that she's doing on this 600th day of her everyday consecutive reading a story online. It's really an honor for us that she's chosen Kumari's Adventure with Her Moon Cycle to read today. Kumari's Adventure with Her Moon Cycle is a collective project. It started at the beginning of the pandemic. We were already kind of working on menstrual health education workshops and creative spaces. But as the pandemic hit, we decided to work together to create a story which helped young people in Nepal to navigate this kind of huge changing time when your period starts. And we did that by creating a story called Kumari's Adventure with Her Moon Cycle. And the main character, Kumari, as you'll hear, goes on a journey to understand her body more deeply. But the key thing to share before you hear the story from Anusha is that, as Kumari introduces in the story as well, but that this was actually illustrated by more than 80 young people across Nepal and across the globe. So mostly Nepali people and Nepali diaspora around the globe, and a few supporters of this project and supporters of projects in Nepal. And that meant that the group grew over time. So we didn't start with 80 people. We started with about 10 people who were really passionate about being part of the drawing process. So you can see here, Kumari was drawn by one person, this bush was drawn by someone else, the mountains were drawn by someone else, and the flag was drawn by someone else. So each page contains drawings from many different people. And as that over time, our group grew and people heard about it and they wanted to be part of it. And it meant that we now have a community of people who are really also passionate about sharing Kumari's Adventure with Her Moon Cycle with their community, with their families. And now she's being taken all over Nepal in various different ways, through menstrual education toolkits, through charity work, and through our community taking it back to their communities, their villages, their hometowns. So we're really proud of what we've achieved. I'm really proud of all the girls that are, and the young people that have been part of it. So I'm sending lots of love to them when they watch this. And yeah, thank you so much, Anusha, for reading.
Thank you so much, Sophie. And thank you so much. And I would like you to please let me read.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for hearing me.
Thank you, Sophie. Thank you. So let's read this amazing book called Kumari's Adventure with Her Moon Cycle. And this book celebrates the magic of menstruation and nurtures confidence. And it just ignites this brighter, more inclusive future where young girls embrace their bodies and navigate their moon cycles with pride. So let's get this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Kumari's Adventure with Her Moon Cycle, a Nepalese girl's introduction to the magic of menstruation by Sophie Maliphant. Let's do this. Okay, join me on an exciting adventure. We'll learn about the magic of menstruation and the power that is inside our amazing bodies. With my friends, we will explore our physical anatomy, how we feel about menstruation, and our unbelievable connections to nature. We also start conversations to discover how beliefs and restrictions affect the people around us. There's so much to explore, so let's enjoy the journey together. Love from Kumari. Okay, guys. without further ado, let's do this. Kumari's adventure with her moon cycle. This book is inspired by and dedicated to the power and resilience of every girl and woman in Nepal. We are humbled to have met and worked with so many of you and looked forward to meeting so many more. Together, we are stronger. Okay, let's do this. A huge thank you to family, friends, and followers of the country that shook who have tirelessly supported this incredible adventure. Sophie. And thanks, Anuradha. Okay. Namaste everyone, my name is Kumari and I am 13 years old. I'm quite shy, but I love to learn. I have an amazing adventure story to share with you and I hope it will inspire a conversation about menstruation. Over 80 of my friends from across Nepal and the globe have helped to illustrate it for me. They have used their own individual drawing styles, so I might not look the same on every page. However, I'll always be wearing my golden yellow kurta with a red shawl so that you can recognize me easily. Welcome to our adventure. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, guys, let's this. The illustrators of this book from around the globe. Okay, a surprise gift. My house is in a small village in the foothills of the snow-capped mountains of Nepal. Our family has lived here for generations. One day, as I was walking towards my home with my best friend Anusha, we noticed something shiny amongst the banana leaves. There were two bright red bicycles. Each bicycle had a basket and in the baskets were two envelopes with our names written on them. Inside my envelope was a bracelet decorated with 28 brightly colored beads, along with a note that read, "To Kumari, our mooncycle sister. This bicycle is called a mooncycle. Take it home and we'll meet soon. Your adventure will begin on Saturday at the old people tree." Anusha too had a similar note and a 32 bead bracelet. We had heard adults talking about a mooncycle, but we didn't know what it actually was. When I got home, I expected my family to question me about the bicycle, but my grandmother just smiled mysteriously, and at dinner time my mother put extra food on my plate. It seemed there was some secret they both knew about. It made me even more curious. On Saturday, Anusha and I paddled off together on our mooncycles. We cycled through the forest and across the bridges with the familiar Himalayan peaks outlined above and the snake-like river babbling far below. On our way, we met an elderly lady. "Namaste, Thuliama," we greeted her. "Namaste, Nani. I can see that you are on your mooncycle adventure." "How exciting," she replied. How could she know? What was this adventure about? Anusha and I looked at each other and wondered. When we arrived at the peepal tree in the forest, the trunk of the tree creaked and a doorway opened. Anusha and I looked at each other nervously. We gave each other's hands a tight squeeze of encouragement and bravely cycled together into the tree. Welcome to the adventure. We cycled along a path inside the tree trunk which led us down to a huge cave. We weren't alone. Many other girls and women were already there and more were arriving on their mooncycles. I recognized girls from my school and some others from our nearby villages. Some of them seemed nervous like me, while others were more confident. I was intrigued. It was unusual to see so many women of different ages and ethnic groups together. It was beautiful inside the cave. The walls were crimson and stars twinkled between the tree roots. A big, bright moon hung from the ceiling. I was surprised to see Thuliama there as well. Wonderful. They have all arrived. Let's begin, Tuliama said. Welcome, Moon Cycle sisters. Some of us have been coming here for many years to learn about the magic of our bodies. We hope to share that knowledge with all our new sisters today so you can spread the word even further. First, we need to explain what the moon cycle is, she continued. I picture my life at home, helping my mother and grandmother with daily household chores, planting crops, feeding goats, and going to school. My body was used to doing those ordinary things. So, how could my body be magic? The magical moon cycle. I have a feeling that it is about menstruation because it repeats like the moon cycle does, a girl behind me said, pointing to the moon above us. Exactly, said Tuliama. As we know, the moon creates the tides of the sea. Similarly, many ancient cultural beliefs tell of the moon's effect on women's periods. That's why the moon cycle is another name for the menstrual cycle. You're here because your own moon cycle will start soon. Every woman's experience of it is unique, so no one else can be the expert of your body. Only you. We'll share facts about menstruation because this adventure can be daunting for some of us. If we learn together, we can help each other, a senior girl from my school said. It's painful! It's dirty! We can't go to school! It's a curse! It's when we become a woman! We are ready for marriage. We can have a baby! We shouldn't talk to males. We have to use the special towels. We mustn't touch certain things. It's a curse. What do you already know about menstruation? She asked us. We had our answers. In our biology lessons, there had been a chapter on anatomy and periods, but our teacher was embarrassed and skipped the lesson. I wanted to know more about this mysterious subject. While some of your answers are factual, others are based on myths and superstitions. Do you believe that everything you have been told about periods is true? asked Sulyama. We were unsure and exchanged nervous looks. We had been taught that traditions and customs must be followed without question. As though Thuliama could read our minds, she further explained. It's okay to be confused and it might seem very scary right now. However, any incorrect information can make us look at this natural process in a negative way. Therefore, we must first understand what a period or menstruation is and how our bodies work. It will help us build our confidence. Exploring anatomy. Hello, my name is Basanti. My menstruation began recently and I want to show you something that helped me understand it better. Please watch the handlebars of your bicycle. An older girl guided us. Something magical happened. The handlebars of the bicycle slowly changed shape. It's a womb, I gasped. Yes, your moon cycle is revealing the whole female reproductive organ. The womb, which is also called the uterus, is hidden inside your lower abdomen. The ends of the bicycle handles have turned into ovaries, which are two soft pouches that store your eggs safely. Did you know that your ovaries contained millions of eggs when you were born? Isn't that amazing? Vasanthi Didi laughed. One or sometimes two eggs are released from the ovary each month. They travel into the uterine tube. And where do you think they go to? She asked. The womb! Voice echoed through the caves. Yes, the womb is the downward facing triangle in the middle. The walls of the womb are made of healthy, nutrient-rich blood. They are there to welcome and nurture a fertilized egg. It's safe like a lake nestled in a mountain valley. If the egg doesn't become a baby, the womb doesn't need the rich blood lining because it will offer fresh blood during the next cycle. The blood flows through the small gap called the cervix and into the vaginal canal. This process is called menstruation or having a period. Basanta Didi further explained beautifully. I watched in wonder as the blood began to flow out as naturally as a stream flowing through a valley. The process didn't seem scary anymore. Losing lots of blood sounds dangerous. Is it safe? Asked Anusha. That's a really good question. It's not a river, but a slow trickle of blood that comes out. Everyone's menstrual flow, bleeding, is different. The amount of blood can range from 40 ml to 120 ml. That's few spoonfuls in total, which comes out in over 2 to 7 days each time you have your period, said Basanta Didi. How do we manage the blood so that it doesn't make a mess? Asked Anusha. There are a few options you can choose. What's available and what's comfortable for you, replied Basanta Didi. I decided I'd like to try a reusable cloth menstrual pad. And we have lots of options. We have period pants, menstrual cups, disposable menstrual pads, tampon. We have many options. How big is my uterus to have this whole magic cycle inside it? Asked a girl from another village. It's about the size of your fist, said Basanta Didi. Does menstruation hurt? I was glad someone asked that question because I was curious too. When the uterus releases the blood, the muscles contract, which can cause pain and cramping. Everyone has a different experience of the discomfort, and this is really important to talk about with people you trust, said Basanta Didi. The vulva is the outer part of our genitals. Every vulva looks different, and that's perfectly normal. It should only be washed with clean water because soap can affect the delicate balance of bacteria. Did you know that female bodies have 3 openings in their pelvic area, whereas males have only 2? Tuliam asked. I was amazed. Why didn't I know this already? I wanted to know more. I wanted to learn more. Our bodies always deserve love and attention. To look after our menstrual health, we must take care of the rest of our body too, Tuliama added. Good sleep and rest, staying hydrated, make a routine for the day, hot water bottle for soothing body pain, washing your body regularly, light exercise, healthy diet, and fresh vegetables. Can you tell me when my menstruation will begin? Asked Anusha. The woman smiled and approached her, saying, There is no correct age. It's common for menstruation to start between age 9 and 16. Yours will naturally happen at the perfect time for you. Are we supposed to keep all this information about the moon cycle a secret? I inquired. In the past, our meetings were a secret because we were scared about what others would say. That's how society used to be. Now times are changing, and people are encouraged to talk more openly about menstruation, the woman said. The moon cycle. Just then, our colored bracelets began to glow really brightly. A girl stepped forward and said, Namaste, my name is Dhanamaya. I will explain to you about the bracelet. The beads represent the number of days in your menstrual cycle, and the colors represent the different phases. I have 32 beads on my bracelet, but Kumari only has 28, says Anusha. That's because your moon cycles will be of different lengths. A menstrual cycle can range between 21 and 40 days, and especially at first, this may be regular. Everyone's adventure with their moon cycle is unique. As you become familiar with having your period, your bracelet will help you even more. Thanamaya's words were really intriguing. Now you're invited to share your feelings, said Thanamaya, handing everyone a pen and paper. I was glad that everyone shared their different reactions to what we had discussed. It made me feel safe to write what I really felt. I was fascinated. Embarrassed, equal, she was inspired, scared, a little bit worried, excited, loved, supported, and happy. We shared our stories and shyly discussed some taboos as well. We left our moon cycles in the cave and bid each other goodbye. Anusha and I walked home chatting non-stop about everything we had learned. We were both happy to have met this diverse group of women, to have learned so much about menstruation. Dreams come true. One morning, a few weeks later, I woke up from a dream about the moon. I could feel my pajamas were wet. I was bleeding, but I felt calm. I knew that my emotions and the mild pains were completely natural. My experience in the cave had given me confidence. Instead of being ashamed, from that day on, my curiosity about the magic of the moon cycle continued to grow. Take a pause. I was grateful for this menstrual education. I felt empowered and very lucky to have learned about it just before my period started. How does it make you feel? Before continuing the adventure, here are a few questions that might help you explore some things we have discussed so far. Yes, we can explore. So the questions are, how would you like to go on an adventure with? Well, who would you like to go on an adventure with? What is magical about your life? What cycles in nature can you think of which are similar to the moon cycle? What word would you try to describe how you feel about menstruation? How do you feel about learning the biology and anatomy of your body? What is inside ovaries? Which period product would you like to try? For you, what are the positive things about menstruation? We can all think and answer these amazing questions. Kumari delves deeper. It had been a year since I had visited the cave, and a lot had changed. I had finished grade 7 at school, and 2 crops had been harvested in the fields. As I got used to bleeding every month, irregularly at first, I had more and more questions about the whole process. I wanted to learn more, especially about the different colored beads on my bracelet. I was looking forward to supporting my younger sister when she began her moon cycle journey. Sometimes I met the girls and women from the cave. We discussed our experiences of our first periods and how families had reacted. On a warm spring day, as I walked through the village, something shiny caught my eye again. The moon cycle was there with a note in the basket that read, "Moon cycle sister Kumari, meet Basanta Didi and Tuliama at the tree on Saturday. More magic awaits you." Another adventure. Wow, I was so excited. On Saturday, I got to the cave and met other girls arriving too. Welcome to you all once again. It is time now for you to understand the amazing similarities between the moon cycle and the different seasons in nature. You will also learn how the colors on the bracelets reminds us to help keep healthy and have fun at each stage of the cycle. Each cycle is an adventure in itself, said Tuliama. Suddenly, the front wheels of our bicycles glowed with the same bright colors as the bracelets, and patterns began to appear as well. Beautiful! What do this drawing means? I asked. The colors and drawings represent the seasons of Nepal. They help us to compare our internal bodily changes with nature. The cave will help us to explore more, Tuliama replied as she cycled away with Basanta Didi. The inner seasons. As we all cycled deeper into the cave, the walls changed color and shades of green light fell on us. I felt fresh, calm and relaxed. The green color represents the spring season, Basanta Ritu, and signifies new growth in nature. Similarly, at the beginning of our menstrual cycle, a new blood lining starts to form on the walls of the womb. This is called the follicular phase, Basanta Didi explained. I looked in awe at uterus plants that were starting to blossom as the green became more vibrant and energetic. As we continued to cycle, the colors changed again. The blue beads represents the summer season, Grishma and Vasanta Ritu, when flowers bloom and fruits grow. Similarly, inside us, our womb walls also grow thicker as the egg is released from the ovary. It's called ovulation. That is when there is the highest chance of getting pregnant. Remember that the fertile days are different for every girl, so it's important to learn about your own cycle. In nature, we can see the fertility of the earth when monsoon rains arrive and crops are planted. Similarly, during the body's fertile season, the egg moves towards the womb and the blood layers continue to grow. Basanta Didi explained. I loved seeing the feminine forms that appeared in the cave. It was amazing to know that my body could be compared to nature. During the autumn season, Sarat and Hemanta Ritu, the vibrant colors begin to fade inside us. If the egg is not fertilized, our body understands that the blood walls are not needed. This is called the luteal phase. Before the winter season, crops are harvested and trees shed their leaves. Similarly, towards the end of our own body's menstrual cycle, the blood layer is ready to fall. Just before having a period, sometimes you might become emotional and vulnerable. This is when girls are often teased for being moody. However, those strong emotions are also of some value, Basanta Didi said, smiling. The trees were all bare, revealing their hidden features. I thought of my mother and grandmother and wondered if it was their hidden features I was witnessing when they expressed their emotions in a dramatic way. At certain times, they could get easily frustrated, angry, or happy. Basanta Didi continued to explain as everything became red. Finally, during the winter season, Shishiritu, snow falls and animals hibernate. Similarly, inside our bodies, blood is released and it prepares us for the next phase to begin. It's our natural process, cleaning and replenishing process. Wow, how incredible it is to know that we are so connected to nature. I can see that seasonal changes, both inside and out, help to create a healthy, fertile environment. Yet, the menstrual process is often perceived as a taboo subject. Now, I really believe that my body can create magic, and the base of my bracelet will help me to follow the seasons within me, I explained. Spreading the word. There are still so many people who are scared and ashamed of the period. They cannot believe periods are natural or magical because of the taboos and restrictions that prevalent in the community. After cycling through the inner seasons, I had become even more confident to discuss menstruation. Already, my friends and my younger sister had been asking me questions about it. People everywhere need the opportunity to talk and to be listened to. They need to know that they are part of nature. I want to start conversations in the village, I said. Your moon cycle can take you wherever you need to go, Tuliama encouraged. I pedaled off excitedly into the next part of my adventure. There they are, together. I pictured my village with houses spread across the valley. I wanted all the women there to feel safe to discuss their feelings about menstruation. Starting conversations. First, I visited Hisila Baini's house because I knew she was anxious about her menstruation starting soon. I want to talk to my dad and my brother about my period. They're always there to support me and my education, but if we follow tradition, they will expect me to remain separated from them for 15 days during my first menstruation and for 5 days every month after that, Hisila explained as we drank tea together. I have been through that experience as well. I found the courage to discuss it with my family and how they understand and how I feel, I reassured her. Isila looked relieved. Maybe with encouragement and support, she too could start a conversation with her family. She asked me to talk to her elder sister Lasata, who lived nearby with her husband's family. My mother-in-law says that the menstrual blood is dirtier than normal blood. If I cut myself accidentally and I bleed, she helps me But when I am menstruating, she does not touch me at all, Didi explained to me. Even though we know that periods are natural and the blood is normal, others may not, I say thoughtfully. Already I could understand that family practices and beliefs have a big impact on how menstruation is perceived. Next, I arrived at Nima Didi's house, a mother of 4 children. I sleep separately from my husband whenever I have period. I normally sleep on the floor and my young children cannot understand why am I doing so. One of my friends is made to sleep in the couch shade outside the house when she is menstruating. She said it's very cold in there and she gets scared. Even during our periods, we are expected to work hard all day in the fields without rest, Nima Didi said. Kumari Baini, can there really be magic in menstruation when society thinks we are impure and contaminated? She asked. What do you believe? I replied. I know it's natural, but I don't know how to change the perceptions around me, Nima Didi said. Divya Didi from the neighboring house was listening to our conversation. I'm worried because we aren't allowed to use communal water taps and utensils in the house during menstruation. If either my daughter or I were to touch them by accident during our periods, I fear that bad things will happen to our family. That is what we have been taught, Divya Didi said. Menstruation is very natural. Why don't we celebrate menstruation like we celebrate fertility in nature? We can decide how to honor menstruation while respecting our culture. Our stories, opinions, and experiences of menstruation are important to share. Otherwise, we will never understand the situation, I said. I feel rage inside of me. I couldn't understand why girls and women are made to suffer this way. As I cycled along, my scarf flew off and the young boy picked it up. Didi, what are you talking to all women about? He asked me as his friends joined him. I'm asking them about their experience of menstruation, Bayaru, I replied. I worry about my sister, one confided in me. She is in so much pain and seems very sad during her period. I don't know what is happening to her, so I stay away. Perhaps you can ask her how it makes her feel and what you could do to support her, I suggested gently. He nodded. As I climbed back onto my mooncycle, another boy said, Kumari Didi, we're curious too. We want to know more than they taught us at school. I smiled. Okay, I won't forget that. It was reassuring to know that the boys cared too. On my way back home, I stopped at Anisha's house. Her periods had recently begun. How do you feel about menstruation? I asked her. I'm nervous about bloodstains on my clothes. I normally stay at home during menstruation because I'm embarrassed to go out. I'm also very self-conscious about my body. Other girls look so pretty while I feel dirty and ugly, she confessed. I reminded Anisha of our visit to the cave and our connection to the diversity of nature. Every female body is like a beautiful flower, blooming in its own way. We talk about the magic that was inside us, and she smiled. She knew it was true. After I left Anisha's house, I met Sheila Didi. She admitted, I used to be terrified and followed all the strict customs. Has anything changed? I asked, curious to know. Yes, my elder sister worked really hard to challenge superstitions about menstruation in my family. We used to avoid all kinds of celebrations for 5 days and we wouldn't enter the kitchen or touch anyone. Now the rules are more relaxed and we make choices depending on how we feel. I choose to rest more during menstruation. I feel tired, if I feel tired. What do you think about discrimination we face? I asked. I think we can motivate our community to respect women equally. But these traditions are centuries old and society changes slowly, Siddharthi said. Yes, if everyone works together, we can move towards gender equality, learn about our human rights, and start to believe in the strength of our voices. I agreed. After all the conversations, I had learned quite a lot about the situation for women in our village. The impact. My grandmother was waiting for me when I arrived home. You've achieved something magical. Everywhere I've been in the village today, people are talking about menstruation. Some people seem scared, but they're definitely inspired by you, she said. I hope one day everyone across Nepal understands that if we honor and worship nature and all that it provides, we must also respect women and allow them to experience dignified menstruation. Periods should be celebrated rather than cursed. I want to continue these challenging conversations and to stand up for the needs of girls and women around me. It won't always be easy, but I'm sure that together we will be successful, I said. I wish for that too, Nanny. Anything is possible with a passion and determination like yours. Now you must rest. You have had a busy day, my grandmother said. Our future together. Over the next few months, as the seasons changed, I continued to see diversity and beauty in nature. There was so much magic in it. Now that I've shared my story with you, I hope you are inspired to continue the conversation about menstruations with others. This is just the start of our adventure. There is a lot more we can learn, and it's better when we can do it together. And now you can reflect on this adventure and ask and answer these beautiful questions. What advice and reassurances would you give to your younger generations? Are there any tradition your family and community follows about menstruation? If so, how do they make you feel? Who are your trusted adults and people you can talk to about menstruation? What helps you feel good when you have your period? What is your biggest learning from Kumari's adventure? If you have had your first period, what was it like? How would you like to celebrate your first period if you could go back in time? What a wonderful set of questions for we all to wonder. Now this is a menstruation situation from Sophie. It is estimated that 85% of menstruating people in Nepal follow a form of strict restriction during their period, in the strictest example called Chaupati, which is practiced in the rural West Nepal. Women are completely separated for up to 8 days and follow precise rules. In towns and cities, it is still very common to find variations of these practices that can restrict daily life, often for 4 to 5 days. We can respect the diverse belief systems about menstruation and inspire educational conversations about menstrual cycle. That's what we can do. We can create environments where people can discuss their feelings about it without being judged. When restrictions and beliefs are not discussed openly, they can lead to further internalized myths and about periods that may impact mental and physical well-being. We can inspire awareness through offering a variety of creative education options. Everyone gets inspired by different methods. That's right, what we can do. This is such a lovely book. And there is an anatomy reference page as well. So why is our main character called Kumari? Okay, let's do this. A girl named Sarita Gurung participated in the first menstrual workshop founded by the country that shook in Baiseri Dading 2018. We decided to name our heroine after Sarita's mom, Kumari, who passed away when she was a little girl. Sarita is very strong, passionate and determined. She is an inspiration to us, like thousands of other resilient Nepali girls we have met. And the more about the Country That Shook. The Country That Shook is a UK-based organization which was set up after the 2015 earthquakes in Nepal. Its mission is to empower Nepali people to live fulfilled lives by providing creative education and resources. We are committed to collaborating with people around the world, bringing expertise, ideas and funding together to make a difference within Nepali communities. Kumari's adventure is part of our vision to diversify the educational creative resources about menstruation in Nepal. There is a growing selection of resources, and we can hope that one day soon every young person will have access to a teaching tool that is relevant and inspiration to them. You can find out more by visiting thecountrythatshook.com. What a lovely journey we had with Kumari, everyone. I hope you love. I'm mesmerized by Sophie's creation. She is a visual magician, and well, This is such an amazing book. Thank you so much, Sophie, for joining us. And I'm really sorry about the technical difficulties earlier, but you were beautiful, and it's our 600th day, and we were so honored to have you with us and read your amazing book. Thank you so much. She tackles this societal barriers and educates us on menstruation through her groundbreaking tale, Kumari's Adventure with Her Moon Cycle. And then, collaborating with over 80 talented artists worldwide, she weaves together a tapestry of voices. As you can see, these names from around the world, shattering taboos and empowering young girls. Go, Sophie! Yay!